Hey guys, Mike here. So, hope everybody had a great day. It was a nice green day in the market for most stocks. You might have noticed there was some news came out at 9 a.m. about Microsoft basically kind of cutting quotas on their salespeople for AI software because of pushback on their customers. And immediately the market dropped exactly at 9 a.m. when it came out. About 0.5% on the S&P there very quickly, recovered it all. Microsoft came out and said that is not true. So we're going to find out, even though the stock was still red for the day. So we'll see on that one. We'll also go some other big news. Some came out of the Trump administration about robotics. Another one came out for crypto. We'll spend quite a bit of time on Tesla, just kind of let you know what's happening with that one. And a couple others as well. And then please put your questions in the comments for Saturday's video, whatever tickers you want me to look up, whatever questions you have about the market. I will actually go over a lot of information I found out about data centers, where they're going in at, how they're putting these things in, some of the shady stuff you're seeing, which I'm not surprised. I'm sure you are not as well. And so we'll go into a lot of that. And I did read your answers about Elon stuff, about work being optional and all that stuff. And I'm kind of with you, which I'll talk more about Saturday, which is like, how's that going to work? I mean, if I ain't got to work, it's like, hey, wonderful, whatever. But does that mean where's my income coming? I guess is my question. But I didn't love this meme to start off. Made me laugh. One of our members posted it. And it was this dog, I guess, like sucking up this, instead of helium, it's hopium in there and stuff. And again, we'll get into crypto in a minute because that's where they posted it at. But when you look here, another clue for a strong December, whenever the S&P 500 is up at least greater than 5% year to date going to end November. You can see it's rarely happened, but when it does, you see December to the right over there. It doesn't have to be super green. Remember, 0.01% is green. Okay, so we'll see if that's the case or not. You can see November was up to 6. By the end of November, the year to date, we're up 16.4%. And I don't know if this is going to hold true this time, but usually the gains happen on the backside of December, but you can see we also get a pop, which is what we're getting now, starting around the 3rd. But it's not like seasonality has been perfect anyway, right? It's been all over the place. So we'll see if that's the case or not. We did get data finally. ADP payrolls came in at minus 32,000 versus 10K expected. And so this pretty much guarantees the rate cut unless something crazy happens. And you can see, I mean, look, we know the job market's slowing down here. There's no doubt about it. And of course, now we know what's happening is companies are freezing the hiring for sure. And we only get to hear from the big companies about the layoffs, which we have seen that, a lot of them, of course. But I'm talking about a broad spectrum across the whole country. Let me know what you're seeing in your area and stuff. But one thing you should start to see, the reason why the unemployment rate should start to tick up, and especially unemployment claims, is new grads. Because when companies freeze hiring, all these people graduate and have nowhere to go. And so they're going to go on unemployment. And you've already seen this with males, between the ages of 22 to 30 or whatever it is, where it's a 7% unemployment rate, which is insane, by the way. But that's what's happening. And so, and you're seeing that not just from AI, but just companies seeing slowdowns. And so here we are. And so we'll keep an eye on that. But I mean, I think the rate cuts up 90% right now. I assume it's going to go even farther as we continue to get data in. Some other big news, just to keep you up to date. We saw Bank of America yesterday, Vanguard, and now you got Charles Schwab. They say they will offer Bitcoin, Ethereum trading in early 2026. So everybody's falling in line on this. Also, one thing's helping pushing the S&P up and the rest of them up is now you got CTAs, right? They were cutting big time. You see a month ago, you see yesterday, you see today, they're starting to add back. Remember, they're not trend setters, they're trend followers. All of a sudden, the trend starts to set back up, and then here they come. So that does help. And of course, the other thing we knew about was from the government shutdown, all of a sudden, this big influx of their paychecks start rolling in. That's a lot of money start heading into pensions, 401ks, all that good stuff, retirement accounts. And of course, that starts what? Buying stocks. That's what they started doing. So we were missing that kind of passive, I guess you can call it maybe like a floor or whatever, or support being put in. And so now that's come back in the market as well. So should be caught up on that. We're kind of waiting to see how that would go. And now let's get into Tesla here. So Tesla, I talked about this one for a couple hours this morning. This was my main trade for sure. And I was looking at that 450 strike right there and the call premium. You can see it had a huge day on call premium, over 100 million. And, big pop, sit there and consolidates for a minute, another big pop. And you can see they were just hitting this 450 all day. It kept increasing. I think it got like 167 million in net gamma exposure. And so it kept increasing along with the strike below that as well. And then if we just kind of pan out and look out here, you know, just scroll over to the right here. You know, here's another one right here, which is the 500 strike at 116 million. And that sounds crazy, but I'll show you something that came through today, which, man, it's one of the biggest I've ever seen when it comes to Tesla. But, you know, when you look at the chart, again, normally when you see this kind of stuff, you're going to get a gap up, and then it starts to form what I like to call this liquidity trend line. And I'll ride it up as long as I can, and then when we get a close below it, and especially rejection, then I'll be out or whatever and going about my day and touch grass or whatever. But, you know, you see it came down and, you know, flagged again, nice little pop. But again, that 442 was definitely resistance. We knew it was going to be. And then when it finally broke above that, you can see it just absolutely went right on up, and then it filled some gaps and everything else. We didn't even get to the 450 today. And when you go to the 4 hour, I mean, you can see there is an imbalance up there right above 450. So I actually don't expect it to actually stop at 450. It could punch right through, mitigate some of that. But today it was about 442, and it was about this little gap over here. You could barely even see it. And it was around 444, 45, I believe. But we went up there to the penny, and that's where we rejected back down. So again, it loves its gaps, it loves its fair value gaps, all that stuff. And then you can see when we punch through there, and then finally punch right above that previous day's high, or I'm sorry, today's high. Nice little push up. One thing that was helping this, though, of course, I always tell you guys, one of these days they'll trade together. But until then, it was Nvidia. Nvidia wasn't doing nothing, as you can see. It was red all day. Wasn't hardly any call premium coming in on this thing. Even when Jensen was on the Joe Rogan podcast today, it didn't matter. Okay, and so that helps. And you can see it's rejected that trend line multiple times, and you can clearly see it right here because here's Nvidia. It starts to get call premium right here, and I remember I saw people. I was like, "Oh boy, this might derail Tesla for a minute here." And so it starts to get some in here, not much. You can see the stock's not moving very much. This call premium starts to come in, then the stock starts to go up a little bit, and you look over at Tesla right here, same time frame. The 1030 to around 145 wasn't doing nothing, coming down, trading sideways, and then Nvidia starts to go back down. Tesla starts to go back up and pump again. So it's amazing how those two are, you know, brothers, step brothers that just don't get along, but that's just the way it is. Now looking at a monthly chart, we clean this thing up. You can see there's only a few lines on this, and boy, it ain't much to that level right there, and at all. And you can see we took it twice, sold off actually nicely. Both times have been resistance as well. And then you see there's the all-time high right there. And we aren't even that far from any of these. You measure this out just to get to the next line, which is 466.32 is 4%. And then the high, which is around like 488.88, it's only 9.36%. And we all know that's nothing for Tesla. I mean, if it really wants to do that, it can do that in a day or two, no problem. And you can see these call sweeps. Look at these, 550 and 555 for January 16th, right? That don't mean these are still open, but these came in today. 12.9 million. That's one of the biggest ones I've ever seen. I mean, that is huge. Now, are they still holding on to them? I don't know, because that means these came in pretty early this morning. They would be up nicely. It doesn't mean they're holding it at all. Okay, but you know, if they are and it continues to run, that's going to be a lot of money. Now, one thing that helped Tesla was the Trump administration. Came out this morning and said they're all into robots now. 5 months after releasing a plan to accelerate the development of AI, the Trump administration is turning to robots. Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick has been meeting with robotics industry CEOs and is all in. They're talking about doing some kind of executive orders next year as well. The Department of Treasury preparing to announce a robotics working group possibly before the end of the year. And of course, not only that helped Tesla, it helped RR and Serve. All right, so these are both robotics companies. So you see they're up almost 20%. And of course, they help Tesla run as well. But it's really the options market more than anything else for Tesla. Now, ASTS here, we talked about this the other day. You can see we've had two nice green candles breaking out of there, hitting resistance right here, which is what we expected. Kind of got this W pattern going on. You can see the boxes up here, which is where I'd be targeting for it to run to. Not going to be surprised if we get a pullback here, just because it has been a pretty dang nice move up these last couple of days, and this is a high flyer. So I want to see, maybe we wedge here and then break higher. The momentum is trying to turn on these, and you can see it is above the 100, so it will be kind of nice to retest that 100. You can see how it was resistance and support right there, and then get the bounce in the 50s right up above. So that will be the next target, kind of heading up here. But, you know, we'll see. If you can look at the 9 and the 21 EMA right here, don't quite have it on the daily as far as the bullish cross yet. It is above the 8. It did close above above the 9, and then closed above the 21 right there. Still don't have it on the 4 hour either. So But again, a lot of these have kind of the same look on their MACDs and RSIs, with the MACDs trying to cross above the 0 line. So we'll see if it's able to do that or not. Now, when it comes to the S&P or the SPY, you can see a lot of gamma sitting at 685 and then 690. And so when you look at the chart, what happened? It came up, almost hit 685 as it built up all day. We missed about, I think, 11 cents. And so, again, it acts as a magnet, and it can act as a resistance as well once you get up there. Some people call it a call wall. But yeah, we missed about 11 cents, actually hitting exactly at 685 right there. But, you know, that's something to look out for. See if we start to get some kind of move back down a little bit here, because, again, we got the meeting next week. We're going into Thursday tomorrow. And what are you seeing? It really is still in this consolidation area right here. Did break above that area. But I'm going to put a trend line in here because I really want to see. I mean, you can clearly see once it breaks that right there, don't be surprised we go to like 686 right there before getting some kind of pullback. But we're not far off all-time highs. I mean, 689 is all-time highs. The question is, are they going to push us up there before the meeting, the Fed meeting next week, or try to hold back here? That's really the big question, because, I mean, again, you see that gigantic move up during Thanksgiving, which is hilarious. Actually, the Friday before Thanksgiving when it started. And so I'm really going to draw this trend line here and see if we break above 65 and go for this first, or do we just start to wedge in here and then, you know, either break down or break up? But I mean, the market knows they're going to cut, and basically it's front running it right now. It's like we did last time, just like we priced it out before. Okay. Now, when it comes to earnings tomorrow, you can see we got Kroger, Dollar General, Hormel, TD Bank, if you like that. Then in the afternoon, you got DocuSign, Sentinel One, ChargePoint. Again, I still can't believe that one's still going. Ulta. And then we do have some data, Challenger jobs cuts year over year, unemployment claims, and then Friday we'll have a boatload we'll go over. So anyway, don't forget to put your questions at the bottom for Saturday's video. Get to working on those, whatever tickers you want to see. Please hit that like, subscribe button on your way out. Thank you for signing up for the membership. Less than ounce combo at $7.99. That's everything you get with it. Just hit the first link in the bottom, and I will see you guys tomorrow.